I'm here. Hello. Happy day, whatever day it is that you are seeing or watching this. We're going to get into a movement. I'm going to start doing movements and then I'm going to talk. So we're going to talk about two movements. I'm going to do the movement as one. You can do this movement as one giant movement, or you can break it down into two parts. And the movement is deadlift, right, into an overhead press. So really important about training is finding your focus, right? And really thinking about your movement patterns and training those movement patterns. Often people just care about how they look, and that's what it is. That's fine. We all care about how we look. Every now and then, some people don't. Some people care a little bit more. But when it comes to training and really getting results, being focused is a little bit more, in my opinion, important than consistency. Consistency is key, and everybody's going to tell you to be consistent, right? But if you don't have the focus or the discipline, and if you truly don't care about the movement and the way in which your body moves, the results are going to be delayed, in my opinion. All right, so when it comes to the deadlift, I often see people straightening their legs and hyperextending. As you can see here, some people will hold their legs completely straight. Now with a deadlift, this is a stiff leg deadlift, so you can, by stiff leg, we don't mean hyperextended or straight leg. We mean just a slight bend in those legs. Your knees do not move, right? You don't move at your knees, okay? So you won't bend all the way down and come to a complete squat. Even though that is a traditional deadlift, we're not doing that with this one. What we want to worry about with this movement is shooting your hips back, okay? Getting a nice extension, right, or a flex at the hip, and then extending all the way up and through, okay? So you want to think about your body pushing back versus your chest falling over or you reaching for your toes, right? Often I see people more so reaching for their toes and not pushing their butt back, right? Which is called a hinge. So the movement is coming from that hip joint. All movements come from joints, right? This is a movement. I'm moving from my elbow joint. Here I'm moving from my wrist joint, right? We're always moving from these joints. So we have to think about better joint mobility as well. And if you are having problems in these movements, then more than likely there is a mobility issue, right? It can definitely be a flexibility issue. It can be an injury, I don't know. But usually we lack mobility somewhere, or sometimes we're too mobile. So moving on. You want to make sure that you are keeping the weight extremely close to your body, right? When you start to lift super heavy weight, and I would encourage you to put your hands right on your thighs and slide your butt back or your hips back. And I said slide your hips back versus slide your palms down your thigh for a reason. You're not thinking about touching your toes. That will cause you to lead with your chest and forget about the butt and the hips. You want to simply push your hips back and allow your arms and palms to travel down your leg via your hip moving back naturally, all right? Don't try to reach for anything, none of that. Also, as you're standing upright, right, drop the shoulders down and back. We want to roll those shoulders down and back, open up the chest, keep the arms nice and tight, locked to the body, and then we slide down, right? And that's going to give you a nice hip hinge. Okie doke. Moving on. That press at the top. When people are pressing, sometimes their press, I see often, your press is in front of you. We want to try to get that mobility. The mobility is going to happen in your wrists when you're here. Mobility is going to happen in your shoulders here, right? And then you want to be able to press it above the head and try to get that arm next to the ear. We don't want it to come here. We want it to come straight up. You're also going to use a little bit of momentum from the ground and your hips, right? As you push through, getting that neck and head through versus coming here. And that's going to happen with the mobility of your spine and thoracic spine, right? That upper to mid back. You want to get that open, right? So certain things that you can do, some people lie on a foam roller, put it right at the back, and just hang out there, right? And that's really going to open you up. You can also slide down the wall, place your body against the wall, arms up, arms down. As slow and controlled as you possibly can be. This is not about moving fast. When you are working out, slowing down your tempo is crucial, especially if you are a beginner. If you need to work on coordination, if you need to work on balance, if you need to work on stability, you probably have very little control or connection to your muscle, right? So if you're not connected to your muscle and telling it to turn on through your movement, your muscle's not going to develop, right? The connection to your muscle is not going to develop, and you're just going to be moving, right? I can move all day. I'm not developing shit right here. But when I move and make my muscle do what I want and create tension within the body, now I'm waking myself up, waking that muscle up and connecting to my muscle and actually using it so it can grow. And we want it to grow. This is for people who want to lose weight. This is for people who want to get a little bigger, gain a little bit more size in terms of muscle size and mass. This is for you. I'm not talking to anybody else. If you are okay with your body, more power to you, whatever you look like. But for those that are interested in changing their body, and if you're interested in actually moving properly, you need to take these things into deep consideration. The last thing that you need to be worried about is what you look like. Okay? The first thing you need to be worried about is if you can't reach past here, there's something that we need to do, right? There's something that we need to change. There's something that we need to check in on and develop, okay? So, yeah, those are some tips. Start with sliding down the leg and just getting that movement pattern corrected. If you don't have a barbell, you can definitely grab dumbbells and do the same movement. If you want to break the movement up into two parts and then add them together, that's also an option. Also, grounding your feet and separating your feet to be hip width apart. We don't want to be here. We want to open up, soft knees. Side note, I think I'm out of focus and I hate that shit. Like I fucking hate that shit. First of all, I need glasses. Second of all, I need to be able to, I can't. Yeah, so we have the deadlift and we have an overhead press. Things that you need to consider: getting flexibility, just being able to reach up and just stay here. Or maybe place your arm against the door and just rest there. And then, bam, getting active with it, which is mobility, and getting mobile through that. So, yeah, I think I talked about most of what I wanted to talk about. Appreciate you watching. If this helped you, please let me know. If you have more questions, please let me know. And go ahead and like this. If you do, don't be scared. And go ahead and drop a comment. My damn phone's ringing. Hello?